Welcome to my top 10 movies I watched in 2020. Now, these are not movies that actually came out in 2020. Actually, some are on the list, but movies I watched for the first time in 2020. So, yeah, this list is going to be interesting. I'm doing this list because I didn't watch a lot of 2020 movies. I felt like watching a lot of older movies. I was trying to catch up with a lot of shit, so that's what happened. And yeah, we're gonna start this list with an honorable mention. And that's, it's actually not a movie, it's a movie series. And that's the Lethal Weapon movies. I might have seen the first one when I was younger, but I can't remember. So we're gonna count it as I saw it for the first time. So yeah, I watched, I know I really wanted a really 80s kind of 90s action movie one night. I just put on the first movie and bang, fell in love with it. And I think the reason why is because they don't make movies like this anymore. It's like the over the top, 300 million kind of action movie like the Avengers, the comic book movies and so on. So yeah, I watched the first one, just fell in love with it, and then I watched the second one. So great. The third one great, the fourth one great, all great. I think the first and second one might be my favorite, but yeah, just a great movie series. I haven't watched the TV series, got no interest in it. Doesn't look like my kind of thing. But Mel Gibson, Dan Glover together, so much fun. Some comedy, just great action overall. Just yeah, really great movie series. I hear they want to make a fifth one. I'm kind of on board with it, but then I'm kind of like, really don't want to see that. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's my honorable mention. All the Lethal Weapon movies. It was weird. I thought after the first one, it would start going, every other one would, go down in quality, but they all stayed, really the same. So that was really cool to see. So at number 10, we got Psycho. Psycho, I've never seen in full before. I've seen like clips and that, but I've never seen it full. And before COVID hit, I grabbed the Alfred Hitchcock box set that came out. It was on sale, grabbed it, and I remember I spent like the next couple of days just watching movies from that box set. And after that box set, like I think there was like 15 movies in that box set. I watched a whole heap. I like the highlights for me were like Frenzy, Rope, the one where he's looking out the binoculars at, and you're just seeing everyone what they're doing in their windows and all that. Rear window, that's what I'm talking about. That's another highlight. But my favorite, gotta say, was Psycho. It was just awesome. Like back in the day in high school, I remember watching the remake and really didn't like it, and that might have put me off watching the original. Then getting in 2020 watching the original and just fucking falling in love with it. It was just fucking amazing. Just the black and white, just the tension, the characters, just everything about that movie is just fucking amazing. So yeah, Psycho. Yeah, I'm a big Alfred Hitchcock fan now. Like after watching not all his movies, but them 15 movies have made me go out and see more of his movies, obviously. So yeah. At number 9 is True History of the Kelly Gang. This was kind of shown in 2018, but I'm counting this as a 2020 movie. Or 2019, but 2019 movie. It premiered on a streaming service called Stan. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. It had Russell Crowe in it. I was like, okay, this is about Ned Kelly. It's an Aussie movie, and it's got Russell Crowe. Very interested. And it's a very different take on Ned Kelly. Like the Ned Kelly take I'm used to, like, he's this tough, is actually the Heath Ledger movie, and just the stories you hear in school. and yeah, you get this different take, like from a boy to like when he dies, and yeah, it's very it's interesting. It's very bright, which you compare to the Heath Ledger movie, it's way different. And yeah, I really liked it. Also great soundtrack. Had a great soundtrack. So yeah. Number 8, I watched Cruising. Al Pacino movie I've never seen before. I grabbed the Arrow video release on a whim because I heard some great things about it. Watched it, I fell in love with it. Yeah, just like you have this cop trying to find out this killer, and yeah, and he's going into some really shady areas. Yeah, how it's done, the tension in this movie, it's all great, and what an ending too. So yeah, it was really interesting movie. Number 7 was Capone. When I first saw this would have been like a 10 out of 10 movie, but I think over time it's got, I would rank it less now, but it's a movie from 2020, of course. It's about the mobster Capone, but it's in his older state, like when he's starting to lose his mind. Not all his body functions are working now, and yeah, and like the cops are still trying to find out stuff from him. And yeah, it has a real good cast. Tom Hardy as Capone is fucking amazing, and all the surrounding cast is pretty cool too. Very interesting movie. Yeah, and it's interesting because it's directed from the director from Chronicle and the bad Fantastic Four reboot directed this, and I never expect that from that director. So yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah. Number 6 is Jimbo. Yeah, Jimbo. I went on a Kurosawa binge at the start of the year because around my birthday I got a bunch of Kurosawa movies. I started watching them, and Jimbo was really one that stood out, and it just clicked with me because being a big Western fan and being, you know, Good, Bad, Ugly, that series of movies, been a fan of that. I saw where they got their inspiration from, and it's all on there, and holy shit, I couldn't believe it. But I love them movies, still do, but Jimbo, man, it's fucking amazing. It just feels very Western, and no wonder they adapted that into a Western. So yeah, but yeah, yeah, it's just an awesome Japanese movie, samurai movie on point. So yeah. Number 5 is Dead or Alive 2, directed by Takashi Miike, you know, who directed Edition and so many more. I also went on a bit of a Takashi Miike kind of marathon, you could say, or binge, and I started his Dead or Alive movie series. And it's weird, like the first one was good, but it was like, what the fuck? And then the second one was just fucking amazing. It was brilliant in every way. And it was so different from the first movie. You got like some of the same actors playing different characters. It's really weird. I don't want to give anything away from this movie because if you've never seen it, just go in blind like I did. I did not know anything, and I just ended up loving this movie. Yeah, you got like, there's a really heart to the story as well, which I found really interesting. So yeah, Dead or Alive 2. At number 4, Subco. Another Al Pacino movie on the list. I didn't realize, but I watch a lot of Al Pacino as well. But yeah, Subco is one of them 70s movies that I've been dying to watch, and I love 70s movies, which is really interesting. And one day I want to talk about the 70s movies, but Subco, man, that 70s all over. You have this story about, yeah, this cop detective trying to do a good thing in like a corrupt police department, and yeah, that's his story, and it's very interesting, and he gets, you know, digged around a lot and trying to, you know, uncover this corruption. Yeah, a very interesting story and one that I love. Number 3 is Why Don't You Just Die? This is a Russian movie. I haven't seen a lot of Russian movies, to be honest, but this movie really stood out. Actually, the trailer stood out, and I really wanted it. Didn't buy it day one. It was on Arrow Video. Arrow Video released it, and yeah, I remember I was putting off buying it, and then there was a sale, and they had it on sale. I was like, fuck this, I'm grabbing this. Finally watched it, and I fell in love with it. Like, it's like a dark comedy Tarantino movie, they describe it as, and you can see why. It's very bloody, very violent. It's basically the boyfriend's going to meet the father, and he's got a hammer with him. That's the scenario, and he's like a cop, the father is, so yeah, it goes batshit insane. It's just blood everywhere. You find out people are lying to each other and not telling the truth. Some shady shit's going on. Great movie. Number 2 is Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai, it's a movie I've been meaning to watch. I've actually owned it for years, and I tried to watch it once, but I just wasn't in the mood. And when I put it on, I didn't realize it was 3 hours. And I still loved it. And yeah, holy shit, like, I think, yeah, Seven Samurai was the last samurai movie I watched on my, no, it wasn't actually, sorry. But yeah, when I was going for my Akira Kurosawa movie collection, yeah, I watched Seven Samurai and just fell in love with it. Like, basically you have the Seven Samurai protecting this town from yeah, a group of like rebels or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, and they come up with a plan, and it's cool because you explore these different samurai. One of them is definitely like the one that people don't respect, and that I find that character very interesting. And he's just final showdown was just fucking amazing. There's some awesome samurai fights in this. Just, it's a beautiful movie, 3 hours, and I've never seen. Oh, actually I have, but yeah, it's just memorable of the break in the middle of the movie. I thought that was very interesting. Because, yeah, I didn't, like I said, I didn't realize it was 3 hours, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is going to be a long movie. So, yeah, really liked it. And my number 1 movie of the year only happened, like, in December. I watched Possessor. I've been meaning to watch it. I've been hearing great things. You know, it's directed by David Cronenberg's son. And then a friend on YouTube, Video Homicide, he did a video, and that was like the final thing. Like, I just got fucking watch it, so I did, and holy shit, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It was bloody, it was gory, it was so interesting, the story as well. Like, halfway through it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this movie. And then, like, after that point, I was like, I was in love with it. I like the story, where it goes, the ending is so interesting. Just, there's so many interesting things with characters and that. Yeah, this is my favorite movie of the year, but it's definitely my favorite movie of 2020, the one that was made in 2020, you could say. There was so much creativity about that, and it felt like David Cronenberg, but his son did his own thing as well, so I really like that as well. Interesting cast, just a great movie. So yeah, that is my top my top 10 movies I watched in 2020. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be doing more videos in the future. Bye.